Hey, are we live already? Is this Facebook Live? Oh my goodness. I'm Richard Blade. You probably know that actually because you just probably came to my Facebook page, so I'm being redundant saying that. But I want to say hi to everyone who's watching on my official page. Are we there? And also on FKOA Presents, and also on Uncle Snoop's Army, which is really good. And by the way, we're going to do 4 giveaways. We're going to give away 4 pairs of tickets for 80s Weekend number 9. We're going to do 2 of the pairs on my page and 2 on FKOA Presents. And I'll let you know where to go and which ones we're doing. And also want to let you know there's a $50 Richard Blade special for the tickets. So if you don't win the tickets, you can get them for $50, and we'll all be sitting in the same area. I'll come down and say hi to you and all that kind of good stuff. And they're great seats as well, the $50 tickets. So that's going to be so much fun. And 80s Weekend number 9, we'll just recap that right now. Violent Femmes, yay! Wang Chung, Flock of Seagulls, The Romantics, Big Country, Missing Persons, Heaven 17, who I have never seen. I am so excited to see Heaven 17. Farrington and Mann from When in Rome, UK. We've got Dramarama, we've got Josie Cotton, and China Crisis. And my buddy Larry the Duck from First Wave might fly out because China Crisis, one of his all-time favorite bands. So that's going to be fun. By the way, talking about favorite bands, can I digress and just take a right turn here for a second and say, congratulations and celebrations. Depeche Mode are getting into the Rock Hall of Fame. It was announced 2 days ago. I am thrilled about it. I texted Martin Gore. He texted me right back. It was great. So I'm just over the moon. Depeche Mode getting into Rock Hall of Fame. Honey, could I get some water?
Yes.
My wife is over there. I'm not saying honey to Mario, much as he'd like me to do that. But Mario, by the way, I want to say hi to Will, who's working here, and so
Giselle.
awful. What?
Giselle.
Giselle and the wife. They're all working really hard, and Mario's just hanging out with his headphones on, listening to something on his phone. And I also want to say hi to all the Sanders who are tuned in from 80s in the Sand. Let me just pull up. Ta-da! 80s in the Sand. I'm going to be there back this year. I didn't go last year.
The Sands.
What?
The Sands.
The Sand, yeah, but yeah, hey, this is going to be great. The Sands are going to be there in Cancun this year. I'm looking forward to it. It's fantastic. And I had to juggle to make it work because it's from October 25th to the 30th. And then I have to go to Mexico, to another part of Mexico where my wife will be, because we're going to be celebrating 20 years, right? Come here. You know, no, she's not dressed up tonight. She's in her baggy pants and she's like, yeah, I'm not coming now. But it's going to be great. So all the Sanders, how are you? Thank you for joining our Facebook Live. And we are going to give away 4 pairs of tickets. And if you've got any questions about anything, it doesn't have to be 80s Weekend number 9. If you've got questions about anything, you can put them on my Facebook page right now, or if you're watching on FKOA Presents, you can put it up there, and Giselle will tell me what questions you're asking, and I will answer them for you. So do we have any questions in yet?
Right now, Marty said, are you going to write another book?
Marty! How are you, Marty? Yeah, so you see, I'm wearing my SPQR shirt to shamelessly promote. Whoa! Let's click that button. SPQR, which was my last book, my second one, and I'm actually 75 pages into my third book, which is a true story, and it has a big K-Rock connection. It's the story of Mike Evans, who I replaced on K-Rock, and we became great friends. It wasn't like, hey man, get out of the way. We became buddies, we talk all the time, and it's his story and John Thomas's story, and what they did in the late 60s. And I promise you will not believe it. It'll be hard to get your head around what these 2 kids did for 2.5 years in America. It was amazing. So that one is coming out probably in late summer, early fall. I'm 75 pages into it. I've got the writing bug. I love it. I'm here, and I got my little, when I'm flying, I got my little writing, my laptop I take with me. And I love it. I put my headphones on so I kind of look like Mario. with my headphones, like big headphones on my ears. He's got, Mario, come in, can you step in the shot? Is there a way you can get in the shot? You can see the size of the headphones. This guy, modern technology has passed him by. All right, everyone has like little headphones. He's got these big ones. There you go. Look at that. Look at that handsome man there with his headphones. So, but I do the same thing. I got big ones, so they, cut out all the other bogus sound around when I'm on a plane, and I just write. So I love doing it. So there you go. I've got another book coming out, but that won't be till the end of the year. So get SPQR, you will love it, or you could get a copy of World in My Eyes, which is still doing really well. But SPQR, big cinematic thrill ride that will take you back to 55 BC. And it's 400 and something pages. And I promise there's no holes in the plot. There's no let's run down in the cellar to get away from the axe murderer. It's incredible. It's Romans with Native Americans and what happens when they meet. And the last third of the book is the biggest, most epic battle you've ever read. Any other questions coming in?
Someone wants you to say K-Rock.
Who?
Someone wants you to say K-Rock.
Someone wants me to say K-Rock, but they don't want me to say K-Rock. They want me to say K-Rock. I know, K-Rock. I love doing that in my gigs as well. I'm going to be doing a gig for Bill and Kay tomorrow. Saturday. Down in San Juan Capistrano, and I always do that on the microphone. I get there and I go, hey, anyone used to grow up with the world famous K-Rock? And people, oh my God. So it was an amazing time to be on the radio, I tell you.
They want to know if you're live in the home studio.
Am I live in the, oh yeah, right here. I do Sirius XM right here, got my little Sirius XM mic, but I got the flag from a Duran Duran concert that I did live on Sirius XM in Miami with the guys from Duran. Because I love Duran, love Depeche, love New Order, love In Excess, love the Pet Shop Boys, love the Beatles as well. Someone was saying that I posted about Depeche Mode. I said my favorite band's in the Rock Hall now. I'm so excited. And they said, I thought your favorite band was New Order. Now I love New Order. And got to see them at the Santa Barbara Candy Bowl, and I loved it when they do Joy Division. And I wish I could be in Miami tomorrow and Saturday when they play at the Fillmore. They're doing a 4-night residency. They played on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then they're going to play on Friday and Saturday. And they did a big new Joy Division set. Love New Order, but my faves are Depeche Mode. And the fact that Martin texted me yesterday to say thank you was just over the moon for me. I'm such a fanboy geek. So it's crazy. What do we have? Oh, we've still got SPQR. Let me go back to 80s Weekend. There we go. $50 tickets if you go to 80sweekend.com. 80sweekend.com. You can get $50 ticket specials. But we're going to do 4 ticket giveaways. Says he holding up 5. I don't know why. 4, can't count. And let's do one. Should we do one now? And we'll do it on my page, which is the Richard Blade official page. And you've got to get every part of this question right. All the parts, okay? And it's one of the bands on the bill, the one that I'm so excited about, Heaven 17. Okay, so we're going to ask you a multi-part question. Stephen Wayne, if you're watching, can you get this right? And if so, don't answer it because you're working it. Stephen Wayne's going to be on stage with me, so but he loves to play along. So see if you can play along, see if you would get it right. First part, what city are Heaven 17 from? So that's the first thing you've got to do. What band did Heaven 17 split off from? So I need to know that. So that's the second part. City and what band did Heaven 17 split off from? And when they split off from the band, it was an abrupt split. And the band had bought studio time. Okay, so Heaven 17 and the band that they split off from had to share the same studio. So one would have it for like 7 hours, and then it would be like the Berlin Wall. That band would walk out, and Heaven 17 would walk in. So I need to know the city, the band they broke up from, and the 2 albums they were recording at the same time in the studio. One, of course, was a Heaven 17 album, but one was the other band. So the first person who can get all 3 parts right.
All 3, not just the first part.
Not just the first part, not just the city. We need the band they broke up from and the name of the 2 albums they were working on in the studio at the same time. So let's see if anyone can get that. So obviously, one was a Heaven 17 album, and the other was an album from the band that Heaven 17 split off from. But what were the names of the albums in the city? Krista's looking very concerned. She's making sure that we're getting this right. Whoever wins, first one, gets a pair of tickets.
All three, not just the first one.
I know, but the first one through
No,
to get all
not-
three
not
right.
Just the first answer. Everyone's just doing the first.
No,
answer.
you got to get all three answers right. And then the first person who gets all three right gets tickets. And this is on Richard Blade official
Okay,
page.
okay, we got one.
Well, we got a winner. We have a winner.
Right.
I can't see my
Sarah,
page.
yeah.
I'm not going to look and give it away.
Sarah Warren.
Who is it?
Sarah Warren.
Sarah Warren. Oh, we love you, Sarah Warren. You're going to 80s Weekend number 9 because Sarah Warren, obviously, she said Sheffield, right?
Yes.
Sheffield, England,
Yes.
which is where they're from. Who else is from Sheffield? ABC is from
Yeah.
Sheffield. Judas Priest is from Sheffield. But Heaven 17 spun off from the Human League. And they had that studio time booked. So they bands put out 2 albums. One was called Dare, with Don't You Want Me on it, and all those other great songs. And the other was was Heaven 17's first album, Penthouse and Pavement. Love that track. It's got such a driving rhythm. So there you go.
there's a-
Sheffield, Human League, Dare, Penthouse and
There's
Pavement.
people right after her. Good.
Oh, people right after. But it was Sarah Warren, right?
Yes, yes.
Sarah Warren,
she put
congratulations. Yeah, yay, yay, she put yay. So Sarah, I'm going to see you there, 80s Weekend number 9. Now we've got 3 more chances to win tickets. So Sanders, you could win as well if you're going to the Sands. And I will see you at 80s Weekend number 9. And the next one is the giveaway is going to be on the FKOA Presents Facebook page. And we'll do that in a couple of minutes. But anyone got a question for me?
Everybody wants to know if you're going to induct Depeche Mode into the
Oh.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah.
A lot of people saying I'm not going to induct. I don't know. I don't think so.
It'd be awesome.
It would be awesome. I would be on my knees, baby, please. I would love to do it. But actually, the induction ceremony is on a date where I am booked for something else. But I mean, maybe there'd be a way around it. I mean, look, let's face it. If Depeche Mode say, Richard, come to Cleveland, induct us into the Rock Hall of Fame, I am working on the speech. I'd say, I am so thrilled to be here. Honey, I'm working on my Depeche Mode speech. So I'd say, I'm so thrilled to be here. And it's incredible. Look at these wonderful people. Who loves Depeche Mode? Woo, hands in the air. And wouldn't it be great if Alan Wilder came back and Vince Clarke and they all performed live? So you'd have to get a couple of tracks from Speak and Spell because Vince was part of that, and you'd have to get a couple of tracks through Violator because of Alan Wilder. So, I mean, what would be the set list? What would be the dream short Depeche Mode set list? Well, it would have to be Just Can't Get Enough with Vince Clarke, and then Blasphemous Rumors and Black Celebration and Enjoy the Silence and maybe Policy of Truth or Personal Jesus, have to be Personal Jesus. And then after the Allen years, maybe something like Walking in My Shoes or Halo. I don't know, but it would be incredible. I can't wait for that. And that will air on HBO, not live. That'll air about a month later. They do the
and we
special.
love Cleveland.
Oh, we love Cleveland. If you've never been to Cleveland,
Don't believe
I
it.
had this gig in Cleveland. I was like, oh, I gotta go to Cleveland. So my wife said, I'm not going to Cleveland. Cleveland sucks. I said, no, they say Cleveland rocks. Went out there and I came back and I said, honey, if ever I get another gig in Cleveland, you have got to come. It is fan-effing-tastic. And we loved it. My wife now has some of her best friends live in Cleveland because we go out there so often. Love the lakes. Love the Rock Hall of Fame.
The food.
Love the food. They've got these great little restaurants. Love the homebrewed beer. It's incredible. Don't our friends have a brewery in Cleveland?
Yeah,
Can you run and get
sibling
one of the
level.
T-shirts? I'll hold it up because no bullshit. I mean, seriously, Cleveland, great city. So if you have never been there, go there. And if you're watching in Cleveland, seriously, love it. All right. So anyone else got a question for me before we do another giveaway? I love doing Facebook Live. It's so much fun, isn't it? Awesome.
Lisa said, who do you believe are the most influential bands in music from the 80s?
Lisa?
Ulysses.
Oh.
Ulysses?
Ulysses.
Yes.
Hi, Ulysses.
Mine was out. I wore it today.
Oh, by the way, this is Krista was wearing this today. This is our friends who have a brewery in Cleveland.
Westlake.
Sibling Revelry Brewing. And that's in Westlake, Ohio. We love it. And I got one. Hi, Jen. Hi, Jen, if you're watching. There we go. So, all right. So, Oasis? Is that?
Yes.
Oasis. Most influential bands from the 80s. Well, let's just leave New Wave for a second. I would have to say Prince, Michael Jackson, and Madonna, without a doubt. And love their music. Whitney Houston, she's going to be inducted into the Rock Hall of Fame. What a shame. Oh my God, what a waste of a life. I mean, that she's not with us anymore. She isn't with us anymore. I know, I mean, it's so sad because she was such a talent. And then we get back to 80s music. Well, Kraftwerk, who didn't get inducted this year, should go into the Rock Hall of Fame because they were so influential. They paved the way for bands like Depeche Mode and OMD and Visage and Gary Newman and Soft Cell with their synthesizers. But without a doubt, and I mean, it's, again, no BS, Depeche Mode. So many bands followed Depeche Mode's example. And Depeche Mode remain an incredible force in music. See, I'm doing an induction speech right now. And Duran Duran. Da, 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 da. Very, very important. A little group by the name of the Smiths. Oh, I mean, if you look at the 80s, the music of the Smiths, so important, and it spoke to so many cultures, including the Hispanic people. I mean, it's incredible the number of Hispanic fans that love the Smiths and Morrissey. So they are super important, and I would say New Order as well. And don't forget a guy with a fright wig and lipstick put on really badly, Robert Smith and The Cure. How much do we love them? We saw them in Pasadena recently. Krista and I went and saw them outdoors, and it was massive, great concert. And Krista took me to the Hollywood Bowl on my birthday, like 3 years ago, honey?
Well, Gary Romano took
Yeah, Gary, my buddy Gary Romano, but we went and we watched them. And right behind us was a celebrity crush of Krista's on the TV show, used to be on a long time ago, called Nip Tuck. He played Christian Troy, the plastic surgeon who had sex with every woman. And Krista goes, do you think we could take photos together? And they did, and it was great. They used to have a great start to the TV show Nip Tuck. They'd look at the camera and say, tell me what you don't like about yourself. And it was always some hot girl they were chatting with. So Christian.
A lot of people are saying David Bowie. Don't give
yeah, well, he's prior to the 80s.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, David Bowie, not just the 80s. David Bowie came out in the late 60s with Space Oddity, and really, David Bowie, Roxy Music, Mark Bolan and T-Rex, who are just being put into the Rock Hall of Fame, and someone, unfortunately, who destroyed his reputation and became a pedophile and is in jail right now, I think, Gary Glitter. Those four acts paved the way for glam rock to follow. So Bowie, incredible. He paved the way for glam rock, and then he crossed over and did that incredible dance music with the Sirius Moonlight Tour. Bowie was just not worthy. He's an icon. So, but not from the 80s. He's an icon from, any decade. So that's why I left Bowie out in my little list. Now, another giveaway on FKOA Presents Facebook page, not on mine, so don't put it on the Richard Blade official page. This is going to be on FKOA Presents. We'll do another one on Richard Blade official page, so don't worry. And this is for missing persons who are also on the bill. Missing Persons has been doing some great performances recently, really, really good. This is a two-part question. Their first release was an EP, huge on K-Rock. K-Rock. I don't need the name of the EP. I need the full name of the studio it was recorded at, and I need the name of the person who owned that studio. All right, so it's a two-part. The full name of the studio and the name of the person who owned that studio. And that was a person who actually came on the scene in the 60s. He's in the book that I'm writing. There you go. See, it's based on a true story. Who was it? And what was the name of his studio that Missing Persons recorded their first EP at? And I got a great interview with the what? Oh, hello. Answer that one. Not working, Mario. I've got a great interview with Dale Bozio, and she said that how she was listening to the K-Rock Countdown, which we would do every year, the top 106.7, to see where Missing Persons song was, their very first song, Destination Unknown and Mental Hopscotch and all that, where their EP came in. And she listened all the way through, and it wasn't in the countdown. And she was broken-hearted. And it got to the top 5 and no Missing Persons, and she was literally crying. And then it got to the number 1, and guess what? It was Missing Persons. They were number 1 on the K-Rock Countdown. She said that was like the happiest day ever. And it's so funny because, you know, it's the early days that you remember, not when you're like a big star or anything. Billy Idol will say the same, Depeche Mode says the same, and Missing Persons say the same. It's those early days you remember when you're taking off. All right, do we have a winner? We need the exact name of the studio and the person who owned the studio, and he actually... almost got it!
We're missing words of the
Oh,
studio.
don't
We're
miss the
missing
words.
of the studio.
The name of the studio, it's Wacky. But so was the guy behind it, and he was a genius in music. Oh gosh, no one's got it yet.
I mean, almost.
Almost.
Missing a
It's
word.
that close. Missed it by that much,
Alexis
Chief.
is so
That's for my
cool.
buddy
Alexis
Ray.
is missing one word.
Just
in the
Who
one
is?
title.
word, Alexis.
Alexis.
Alexis, you're
Dos
missing one
tomates?
word. All right. Well, say hi to my buddy Ray DeVries from Chaos Records. If you're watching, Ray, missed it by that much, Ray, because he's a huge Get Smart fan.
So close.
Everyone watch Get Smart? I mentioned Get Smart, the new book I'm
Alexis
writing.
is missing the first word of the studio. She has the rest.
Oh,
Oh wait, hold on.
Oh, I'm going to go back to my book.
Oh.
Shameless plug for SBQR, the book of the year. You will love it, I promise. It's
Why
great.
did they leave out the studio
great.
part, honey? Because we know it was a studio. Someone got it. Just
Oh, yeah, you don't need
okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we have a winner?
Yep.
All right, who's the winner?
Christopher.
Malkovich.
Christopher
Malavik.
Malavik. Christopher Malavik. You went to FKOA Presents and you've won yourself a pair of tickets. I will see you at 80s Weekend number 9, my friend. It's going to be fun. The answer was the Utility Muffin Research Kitchen Studio.
Tell Alexis she missed utility.
Missed Utility, Alexa. You got the Muffin Research Kitchen. Oh, you need a good pat on the back or somewhere else. Utility Muffin Research Kitchen Studio, and the owner was Frank Zappa. Frank Zappa, who started Mothers of Invention. In 1965, Frank Zappa was working in Hollywood Boulevard, in a record store, a place called Wallach's Records, and all the time dreaming of becoming a star, and he did become a huge international star, and sadly no longer with us. But he signed Missing Persons, and he had the Utility Muffin Research Kitchen. So there you
Want
go.
the doggies to say hi?
Yeah, bring the doggies in. Well, say hi with them. And Mr. Roxy too. We should bring Mr. Roxy in. Right. Come here. Come here, Toshi. Toshi, we got clothes on, Toshi, because
It's cold.
otherwise, yeah.
She's got her hair cut.
Oh, you see Toshi?
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Toshi. Toshi Modo. Toshi Modo.
We can't
And
see
this
Chloe.
is Chloe. Can we not see Chloe? Can you
Let's
come here, Chloe?
see.
Don't be shy.
Sit.
There we go. Can you sit, Chloe?
Oh.
Good girl.
He's gonna pan down.
Good
Oh, there's Chloe.
girl.
Okay.
That's baby Clo. And this is the Tosh monstrosity.
Good girl.
Mm.
Okay, come on.
Okay, there's our girls. Yeah. Here we go. Go. Oh, okay. You can stay, Tosh, if you want. All right. We got 2 more pairs of tickets. Next one on Richard Blade official page. And do we have any other questions for our Facebook Live while we're rubbing Tosh? Do you want to get Mr. Roxy as well in a minute? Yeah, we'll get Mr. Roxy. Well, he's still with us. He's a good boy. He's just turned 17. The vet told him in 2018 in October that he had 4 weeks to live, and he's still with us, and he's doing okay. Little. He's doing good. He's very happy.
Terry Bozzio played drums for Frank Zappa, didn't he?
That's right. He played with Frank Zappa. Yeah, not in the original Mother's Invention. He was too young for that. But Terry Bozzio, man, what a drummer he was. And of course, the original lineup of Missing Persons also included Warren Cucurullo, who went on to join Duran Duran, who was with them for a number of years. So there you go. You looking at Tashi?
Yeah, we're getting comments.
Okay, there's Toshimoto, Tashi. Mwah. Little baby Tosh. Yeah.
Mr.
She
Rocky.
cuddles all the time, the Tosh monstrosity. So there
Do
we go.
Talking Heads ever tour?
No, David Byrne left Talking Heads, and he was the front person for Talking Heads and the main writer, and he is kind of a Renaissance man. He does all different things. He's done a recent thing on Broadway in New York, and he does a lot of art, a lot of photography, a lot of cultural music, using African rhythms and Indian rhythms. And he doesn't go back. He's been offered a lot of money to reform Talking. I mean, we'd love to have Talking Heads at an 80s weekend, but David Byrne doesn't want to do it. So there you go. And don't forget, if you don't win these tickets, you can get them for $50. There's a special deal, but you have to look for the Richard Blade tickets and go to 80sweekend.com and look for the $50 Richard Blade special, and you will get great seats as well. So we got 2 more giveaways. The next one's going to be on Richard Blade official page in a minute. If we
They're
don't have any
asking
more
about
questions.
Mr. Roxy.
Oh, Mr. Roxy is coming! Here comes Mr. Roxy. Out. Here comes Mr.
You're gonna see the back of
Roxy.
me.
Oh, he gets you.
Huh?
Oh, here's my baby boy. My wife, I tell you, Mr. Roxy is with us because my wife has worked so hard keeping him with us, and he's a happy boy, and he's still strong, and he's still good, and he sleeps in front of the fireplace, and he goes to jump on our bed at night about 9 o'clock, and he sleeps between us, ruins our sex life because there's a big cat between us. And but he is such a good boy, Mr. Roxy. Look at him.
Yay.
Yeah, we love him.
I have 9.
Yeah. So he's getting older now, though. He's getting a little older and a little weaker, but we love him so much. And as long as he's feeling good and he's happy with his life, we'll look after him. But we just, oh my gosh, we're going to cry like babies when something happens to
We've
this
had him
big
since
boy.
he was a tiny kid.
Yeah, we had him when he fit in the palm of my hand when we found him. Krista found him on the side of the road, a busy street in Northridge called Rinaldi. And the cars were racing by, and he was on the street. He'd been out. He was probably, 6, 7 weeks old. And he'd been out for at least 5 days because he was covered with fleas and dirt. And we took him home, couldn't mix him with our other cat because of all the fleas. And I said, we'll find a good home for him. And Krista was like, yeah, we will, right here. So Mr. Roxy's been with us ever since, and he still fits in my arms. Look at you, baby.
No, the
boy.
cat did not come from Howard, but we're huge fans of
Oh,
Stern's
huge
work.
fans of Howard. I would love to come on
And if-
Howard's show. And Baba Booey, Gary Delabate, and John Hine, and
I
everybody.
was talking about Beth and her kitty
Oh,
races.
Beth O. Stern. If you like cats, Beth O. Stern on Instagram. My wife, every morning, I'm like having cereal on my toast, and I hear meow meow. Oh, baby, baby, and I say, "You're watching Beth Stern videos on Instagram." And she goes, "Yes, I am."
She saves
So-
tons. Okay.
But there we go, Mr. Roxy. There we go. Yeah. So, take a couple more questions. We'll do another giveaway. Let me click off this and go back to 80s in the Sand, aka the Sands. And Billy Idol, real Billy, he's going to be playing at the Sands. Can't wait to see him. Hopefully I'll introduce him. Got Billy's book up there. Great book. It's called Dancing with Myself. Any more questions?
Oh, sorry.
No.
We're petting Roxy.
You're petting the pussy over there. It's okay, I can say that. I'm English. That's what we call cats. We call cats.
Everyone's just like saying how much they love Roxy.
Oh, yeah, we love Roxy.
Right now.
We love him so much. He's such a good boy.
Yeah, they're like not questions. They're just.
Oh, look at this
so
cat.
awesome.
Look at this dog. I mean, the dog.
Look at this
we
cat.
call the dog. We call the dog the director. And
We do.
Toshi comes in when I'm doing my show here, and she lies on the floor. And when I'm shooting videos for gigs that I'm doing, so I do a lot of private parties, and I do invitation videos. Go, hey, it's Richard Blade here, formerly from Gay Rock, and now on Sirius XM's First Wave, and I get to be the personal DJ for Kay's 50th birthday, and I'm going to be there with my sound, my lights, my lasers, and it's all about. And so I make those videos, and they send it out on their Evites. And this is the director. The director makes sure I don't screw up anything. So this is Director Toshi. We are animal nuts, as you probably know. By the way, if you ever want to contribute anything, World Wildlife Fund for Australia for the bushfires, 1.25 billion, not million, billion animals have died in the fires so far. Koalas, unfortunately, have been pushed to the edge of extinction with these brush fires that have been ravaging Australia. And the firefighters, incredible. Unfortunately, they lost another one about 3 days ago, and it's nearly 30 people have died, hundreds are missing. over 2,000 homes just in New South Wales, which is where Sydney is and everything, have been lost. And you can contribute, good charities to contribute to, because you never know. You want to make sure your money's going there. The Red Cross and the World Wildlife Foundation. There's another one I think called CFS, which is for the firefighters of Australia. And they've had fires like you cannot believe. The area lost so far is 18 million acres, which is bigger than the state of Delaware. And so it's just awful.
Okay, you want some questions?
Yeah, love some questions. Let me put the director
Williams is asking, what other bands do you like listening to outside of the First Wave universe?
Oh, outside of the First Wave universe? That sounds cool, doesn't it? The First Wave universe. Let's go flying. I know a lot of people are going to roll their eyes and go, oh God, but I love Coldplay. I'm a Chris Martin fan. What can I say? Chris Martin is kind of like the Tom Brady of music. He's got it all going on and people hate him. I don't know why, but I love Coldplay. I actually like Michael Bublé as well, Bublé. I like Brazilian jazz. I do not speak Portuguese, but I listen to Brazilian jazz. And one of the songs that my wife has to play at my wake when I pass away in about 112 years' time is Mascanada from Sergio Mendes. But I like that, and I do like current pop music, like Taylor Swift. I've always liked Taylor Swift. It used to be creepy that I would like Taylor Swift when she was 17. She's like 30 now, so I can say that, But Coldplay, big fan of Coldplay. Snow Patrol I'll listen to as well. And I'm also a big fan of we call it Ibiza music, Tiesto, Cascade, people like that. Really love it. So, listen to a lot. And the Beatles. I'll listen to the Beatles any day. One of my favorite songs ever written. I think it's an entire movie done in 3 minutes. Is on the greatest album ever recorded, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And it's called She's Leaving Home. Listen to that song if you can. She's Leaving Home by the Beatles. It is an entire movie in 3 minutes about the girl going off with the guy in the motor trade and the parents coming into the song, which are also sung by Lennon and McCartney, and they do not understand why she is leaving them. They've given her everything, but what they didn't give her is a life and fun. And that's an incredible song. She's Leaving Home. So Beatles.
Honey, Eric Badgett said his first 2 corgis were named Richard and Rodney, but he didn't say if they were after you guys.
Oh, if they were named after,
Ask him.
if they were named after us, thank you so much. My wife and I named our dog Zoe, who is no longer with us, after someone that we saw in the cast in the cast credits of a movie that we love, Starship Troopers. We actually love Casper Van Dien. Yeah. You rock.
Yeah,
friends with
said
Casper.
After you and Rodney.
Yeah. Oh well, thank you. And we named our dog when we saw the credits roll, and Zoe in there. And then Casper Van Dien invited me down to a screening, like a 20th anniversary screening of Starship Troopers. And so I went to the screening, and then we were doing a Q&A afterwards. And so Casper had me stand up and said, "It's Richard Blade here from K-Rock and Sirius XM. I just want to say," and I said, "By the way, sitting on the stage is the lighting director, Zoe. I just want to tell you, Zoe, I named a dog after you." And she was like insulted. She didn't think that was a good thing at all. I'm flattered that anyone would name anything. You name a turtle after me, and I would be thrilled. So there you go. Thank you.
And Alicia says her kids want to know if you like Billie Eilish.
Oh, love Billie Eilish. You know who else does? Howard Stern loves Billie
Great
Eilish.
interview.
Oh my gosh. Billie Eilish is incredible. And the thing about Billie is she doesn't, put herself out there as this hot young slut kind of thing, dancing around in a short skirt, which I'm all about. I mean, I don't mind that at all. I love girls in tiny little outfits. But Billie Eilish is about the music, and she'll be out there in like baggy outfits and jeans that are 2 sizes too big for her, and it's the music, and she is absolutely fantastic. So if you like Billie Eilish, you and I have the same taste in music. By the way, can I just do a shout out for a local band who I love, Oingo Boingo? Oh my goodness.
A lot of Oingo Boingo stuff.
Oh, love Boingo. If only they would get back together. But Danny he is playing Coachella this year, and he does say Boingo, Batman, and Beyond. So he's going to do some Boingo songs, but who knows who he'll play them with? I don't know.
Okay, before we do, Eric Rodman wants to know who your favorite character on The Deuce was, because you got him turned on to it, and what a great show.
Love The Deuce. Who, you know, we like so many of the characters on The Deuce. I mean,
we had this conversation.
Obviously James Franco. I know James Franco's. There's been some Me Too stuff about him, but I think he is a fantastic actor. And let me turn you on to something else. If you have Hulu, watch 11/22/63. It's a date, November the 22nd, 1963. What happened on that date, Mario? Come on, tell me. You're a history buff. You told me. Mario says he knows everything about history, but he's working so hard tonight. Let me wake up Mario a second. What happened?
John F. Kennedy?
John F. Kennedy was killed, yes. And a lot of people forget their history. And that's, whoa, fantastic. But James Franco stars in that as well. And he was great in The Deuce. He played two characters. He played, what?
Twin brothers.
Vinny
and Frankie?
Yeah, Vinny and Frankie. And it was great. And also, what was her name? I feel so bad.
Maggie Gyllenhaal?
Maggie Gyllenhaal, fantastic actress. And the girl from Russia who played the cute girl that Vinny was involved with for a while. And then, yeah, oh my gosh, she was so hot.
I can't remember.
Yeah, she was a great. Everyone was good in The Deuce. And the guy who plays Lenny Bruce in the Magnificent Mrs. Maisel.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which we just finished watching season 3 the other night. Brilliant. If you have Amazon Prime, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, fantastic, incredible show. He plays Lenny Bruce in that. He played a gay policeman in The Deuce. He was fantastic as well. Just, I mean, everyone was so good. Hard to pick one person. But thank you for asking. Love The Deuce. Ran 3 seasons.
I thought that was fun.
And oh, by the way, the wrap up on The Deuce, because they knew they were going to wrap it up. Abby, thank you. The wrap up on The Deuce, not to say anything about it, so I'm no spoilers here. One of the best finales of any show I've ever seen. I mean, we watched the finale of Friends. No, not very good. Watch the finale of Seinfeld. Whoa! And I love Seinfeld. Seinfeld, a great show with no plot. I mean, what's it about? Nothing. But it was fantastic. Seinfeld was great, but the end of Seinfeld, crap. But the end of The Deuce, oh my God, fantastic.
Okay, one more question before giveaway. Someone wants to know who my favorite bands are. You
Krista,
can answer that.
Honey, Krista's favorite bands. She loves Adele.
My favorite 80s bands.
Oh, your favorite 80s bands. She loves everyone I love, along with a lot of cheesy ones. You like cheesy. You like the 80s. You like
Air Supply, yes.
Yeah, Air Supply and stuff like that. And by the way, guys from Air Supply, really, really nice guys. I don't mean cheesy in a bad way. I mean, God, if I was writing songs and had that many hits, fantastic. But I'm going to say Krista's 2 favorite bands. One of them is a huge first wave band. And they played, at least the singer from it played at the last 80s in the Sand. And that is Andy Bell from Erasure. She loves it. And the other one is Journey. She is a huge Journey fan.
And Oingo Boingo.
Oh, well, there's 3 then. And Boingo. She loves her Boingo. Yeah. But if she could see Journey, Boingo, and Erasure every 3 months, she would be a happy puppy.
Okay, should we do a giveaway?
Oh, do a giveaway. And this is on Richard Blade official page.
Okay.
And again, you've got to get everything right. Oh, I didn't drink my water yet. Hang on. Excuse me. This is brought to us by Nestle Pure Life. Thank you. Okay. And by the way, you might have noticed we're doing bands on the bill of 80s Weekend number 9. And the band, we did The Missing Persons, we did Heaven 17. Now we're doing Dramarama. Love Dramarama, love John Easdale. What a fantastic band they are. I mean, they just rock. Incredible. So, again, multi-part question. You have to get every part right. Giselle, it's going to be really tough with you on this. Okay.
I'm helping.
What DJ brought Dramarama from New Jersey to LA? What DJ? Mm-hmm. One of the founding members of Dramarama, Chris Carter, is a fellow DJ on Sirius XM. What channel? I'll take the channel number or the name of the channel or both. You don't have to give the number and the name. You can do it if you want. So Chris Carter is on what channel? And the third one, what song did Dramarama write specifically about the environment? All right? And actually, John Easdale changed the lyrics and performed it at my going away party on April the 27th of 2000 and sang it to me.
Yeah.
So it was great. So DJ that brought
All
Dramarama.
three answers, everybody.
All three answers. We need all three answers correct. The name of the DJ, you can misspell his last name, but just get it
It has
right.
to be full name.
Yeah.
What channel is Chris Carter on Sirius XM? You can give us the number or the name or both. I don't mind. And what song did Dramarama write about the environment? And this was back in the 80s they wrote it. So I need all three answers. And this is on Richard Blade official page, right?
Mm-hmm.
Richard Blade official page. So hi everyone on Richard Blade official page. Click like.
Someone wants to know if this is a studio you do your show from.
Yeah, this is the studio I do my show. This computer here,
Yeah, okay, we got it.
we go winner, links to
Right.
New York.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when I go in, I log in through this computer 3 times, including using what is called a rolling code, and allows me into the mainframe computer for Sirius XM. And I do my show from here, and then I pull up all the music stuff on this computer.
Okay, Rob Rom.
Rob Rom! Rob Rom! Yay! The DJ that brought Dramarama out from New Jersey, we mentioned a little earlier, the great Rodney Bingenheimer. Rodney on the Rock. Yeah, I'm Rodney, and I love being on K-Rock, but now I'm on Sirius XM. And Rodney, seriously, talking about influences. We talked about Bowie. Rodney is kind of one of the Bowies of music to me. He is fantastic. Love you, Rodney. So Rodney Bingenheimer was the first part. The second one, Chris Carter is on the Beatles channel, channel 18 on Sirius XM. And the song that Dramarama wrote specifically about the environment is What Are We Gonna Do? So, and then we still ask that question, what are we gonna do? Hopefully something, because whether you believe in global warming or not, or climate change, something's going on. So
Okay,
let's hope it slows down. Okay.
Alan was asking what keeps
Alan.
you on air after all these years.
What
Like,
keeps you-
What keeps me going?
inspires you? Yeah.
I love the music. I love, people ask me that at my gigs when I'm DJing live. They say, oh, do you ever get tired of the music? And I said, you get tired of bad music. But the music I play, most of it, 99% of it, I love. And at the end of my live gigs, people come up and go, oh, now I know why you keep going, because I'm the geeky guy. I'm the white boy who can hardly find the beat, but I'm still having a good time behind the console playing all the music. And I love it. If I can play a great Depeche Mode song, and so many of them are great. I mean, some of my personal favorites are Leave in Silence and See You from their early days. Oh, I hear those, and Martin's lyrics. If we could stop this from spreading like a cancer. Who would think to write a lyric like that? Martin Gore would. Fantastic. And then you get the middle years of Depeche Mode, the mid 80s to me, and you get Blasphemous Rumors and Black Celebration and New Dress. Oh, love it. What talent. If I could ever write a song like that, I would be so happy. And when I write a book, I think about Martin writing the lyrics, and I try and, just convey that in my words, but not musically. And then the later years of Depeche Mode, I mean, it's cliche to say it, but enjoy the silence. One of my buddies, and name dropping, need a handle here, name dropping, but Neil Tennant from the Pet Shop Boys described this song as the perfect pop song. And with lyrics like, all I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my arms. Enjoy the silence. Oh, fantastic. So that's what keeps me going. Great music like that from Depeche Mode, from In Excess. Don't change. I'm standing here on the ground. The sky above won't fall down. Michael, we miss you, who also died on 11/22, but 97, not 63. So there you go.
5 more minutes, Eddie, because that'll be 45 minutes.
Okay, sure. Yeah, we're doing the next giveaway. The last one will be on FKOA Presents. All right? So take a couple more questions and we'll do the giveaway. A couple more questions.
Fine.
I love doing Facebook Lives. Everyone like it? Is everyone enjoying it? I
Yeah.
hope so. I hope I'm not boring you or anything like that.
It's like
It's
a
really
lot of
fun.
questions, but a lot of people just saying how much they enjoy it.
Oh,
and this is
I love it.
awesome. This is awesome. How much they love your book.
Oh, thank you.
Um,
You know, World in My Eyes, when I wrote World in My Eyes, I had been asked to write a book a number of times from publishers, but they only wanted me to write a book about Depeche Mode or a book about Duran Duran. And I said, you know, other people can write a better book than me about Depeche Mode. They'll just research it, you know. As they said in The Martian, as Matt Damon says, they'll research the shit out of it. You know, for me, I wanted to write a real book of my experiences, the world in my eyes. And a few people have said, oh, you didn't write enough about this, that, the other. I just wanted to write my experiences and tell my story, and it was so cathartic for me. And Krista let me write my story, which was great because there's a lot of sex in it. Yeah. But it was also really cathartic. One of my biggest memories of writing the book was walking into the kitchen, having to take a break. And I walked into the kitchen to make a cup of tea, and Krista looked at me and she said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "I just met Carolyn again." And Carolyn was my college sweetheart, one of my 3 great loves. And she allowed me to do that. And I held Krista and I said, I could just feel Carolyn. I could smell her. It was incredible. And she's the one person I've not been able to get in contact with. She just disappeared, you know. And so, love to find her again.
A lot of people are talking about Oingo Boingo playing Coachella.
Yeah.
Do they think they're going to...
I don't know. I honestly would love to be able to tell you that I know, and I'm not saying anything. I don't know. It would be great. I think if Danny would pick up the phone and call Johnny Vatos, because Johnny Vatos keeps Boingo alive with the Oingo Boingo dance party, and he could do it in one phone call. If he called Johnny Vatos, Johnny would say, hopefully Johnny would say, I'm going to bring the entire band out. I'm going to bring Sluggo, not Doug the Slug, but Sluggo from Oingo Boingo and Steve Bartek and everyone else from Boingo, and they're going to play the 1 or the 3 or the 5 Boingo songs that you're going to do, Danny. How great would that be to have a Boingo reunion at Coachella? And then they would leave, and Danny would bring the orchestra out, do the Batman theme, and probably The Simpsons and a few other songs. And then Danny would finish with classical, because Danny's doing classical right now. He did one, he actually right around the corner from here. We're in Granada Hills. He did it in Northridge. He played a classical thing. And if you have Sirius XM, I did a interview with Danny Elfman. I brought Stephen Wayne along with me. Hi, Stephen. We had such a good time with Danny. He was amazing. And Danny said something that Stephen loved hearing. He said, you know, I come at everything from a punk attitude. I started as a punk. And when I left doing punk music, because he considered Oingo Boingo punk, and went into film scores, nobody said I could do it. And I just said, well, fuck you. You watch. And he said to me, it was nuclear. To me, it was nuclear fuel, he said. He said the more they would spit on me and say, you can't do it, the more I wanted to do it. And Danny, all these years later, still has that attitude. And I love the man, love the band, and love Oingo Boingo and Johnny Vados. I was asked to speak at the 4 years ago when it was Oingo Boingo Day. I was asked to speak for Oingo Boingo when they were being inducted by the city of LA. That was such an honor. And thank you, Johnny, and all the guys from Boingo for asking me to do that. It was really a special day.
Okay, one more, just because it's
One more.
kind of off track, but you spoke about the band that is in this.
Okay.
Well, kind of, you'll understand when I say it. Your favorite movie of last year, or 2019?
My favorite movie of
Well,
2000.
I know what it is.
Oh, tell me, remind me, because
You talked about the band that it's based on as being
Oh,
your favorite band.
oh, Yesterday. Oh, what an incredible movie that was. It was fantastic. I'd actually thought about this idea for a movie for a long time. I imagined, but my twist on it was someone who went, and I used to talk to Stephen again, Stephen Wayne. He's getting a lot of name checks. But the good thing is he gives me $1 every time I say his name. So I've got $250 right now. But I would say to Stephen at gigs, imagine if you went back to the beginning of the 1980s and you knew what was going to happen. You went to the Run Runner and you signed the English Beat and Duran Duran, and then you went to Basildon and you went to Depeche Mode, and they said, why should we sign you? Why should you manage us? I said, okay, I believe in you. Hey, Vince, I got an idea for a song. Dum, dum, da, dum, da, dum, 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 da, dum. He'd look at you and go, that's great. And I'd write it with him. Just can't get enough. I had the idea of doing that. But then I heard about Yesterday coming out, a guy who wakes up and he's the only one who remembers the music of the Beatles. And I was like, shit, someone's stolen my idea. But they didn't steal it. They had the idea themselves and they did an incredible twist on it. And everything about Yesterday is great. That movie, just, Krista and I loved every second of it. And I mean, there was a point in that movie, 3/4 of the way through, I actually cried when they did something with a little twist. I'm not going to say, no spoilers here. Fantastic. So if you want to see a great movie, Yesterday was fantastic. But there's been some other brilliant movies. We just watched The Two Popes the other day. Krista loved that. What other movies did we like from last year for the screen? 1917.
Well, it's in the theaters now, but it's...
Oh my God, we had a screener of that. Sam Mendes and Roger Deakins, who's the cinematographer who comes from my hometown, Torquay. He's like 3 years older than me. Went to Torquay's Boys Grammar School. I'd love to meet him. And he probably had String as the art teacher, as his art teacher. But they shoot that movie 1917 as though there's no cuts in it, no edits, it just goes, and you just sweep along with it. Brilliant. And what other movies do we love from?
We liked Blinded by the Light.
Yeah, Blinded by the Light with Springsteen. Again, a kid who doesn't fit in England, and it's the music of the boss that lifts him up, and it was great. So I loved both of those.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
All right. Giveaway, last giveaway. We're going to dinner. Oh, you should see the salad that Krista's prepared. Oh, fantastic. Oh, I've sounded like Kevin Pollak in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And I'm not wearing pants. That's why so Kevin Pollak, nice guy. All right. Multi-part question for Wang Chung
And
fans.
we're doing this on FKOA.
We're doing this on FKOA Presents for a pair of tickets. If you don't win these tickets, don't forget you can go to 80sweekend.com, get the Richard Blade special, $50 for a ticket. And these are great, great seats that we are giving away and that you can get. So, Wang Chung question. Roughly, what does Huang Chung, because they're originally called Huang Chung, not Wang Chung, what does that mean in Chinese? We need to know that. We also need to know what song did they release as a single that flopped, it bombed, and then when they re-recorded it and put it back out, became a huge hit for them. So initially it was a flop, and then it was a hit. What was that song? And the third one was they did an entire soundtrack for a movie. I don't want the name of the movie and the name of the soundtrack. I want the name of the director of that movie. An entire soundtrack. All right, so those are your three things. Wang Chung, roughly what's it mean in Chinese? What song did they have that was a huge hit, that initially was a hit, then they re-recorded it? It was a flop, and they re-recorded it, put it out as a single. And then what was the name of the director of the movie that they did the entire soundtrack for? That's a little bit of a tricky question because they've done other movies too. So that's all I'm going to tell you. I need those three parts. And then go and watch Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and then go and watch Yesterday, and then go and watch 1917, and then go to 80s Weekend #9, and then afterwards go to the Sands in Cancun, as in 80s in the Sands, and buy a copy of SPQR as well. SPQR.
Someone like your shirt.
I promise you will love it. You will love it. It's great. I'm allowed to say the F word, aren't I?
No, not on Facebook.
You're not?
On Sirius XM. No, I don't think so.
I think I can say it on Sirius, but I don't.
I know. Well,
Because
but
the
you're
family
saying
show.
it on.
I think you can say it on Facebook. You can write it. You can tweet it. You can tweet it. Yeah. But there you go. Anyway, Toshi says I can say it. She's the director. She's still here. She didn't run out going. Giselle did.
Someone got
She'd
part
never
of
heard
it.
that word before. She thought it was French.
We need all three.
We need all three. We need what does Wang Chung mean in Chinese? Roughly. And what song was a flop initially and then became a huge hit for them. And they did an entire soundtrack. Don't need the name of the soundtrack. Don't need the name of the film. Need the name of the director.
Someone asked me if I can DJ. No.
You know, Krista probably could, but
Yep, we got it. We got it.
Oh, we got a winner. We have a winner.
David Day.
David Day got it. And David said the name Wang Chung in Chinese roughly means yellow bell. What song did they have that initially flopped? They re-recorded, put it out as a single, was a huge hit. Dance.
Talking too much.
Are we back? See, Mario's one job, the only job that Mario had, was make sure the battery was charged in the camera. But Mario was on the phone, he had his headphones, he was listening to DJ Khaled and busting out the beats, you know. So anyway, we're back. And so the three was Yellow Bell, Dancehall Days, and William Friedkin.
And you didn't say the name of the movie, just because.
Well, the name of the movie was To Live and Die in LA, but William Friedkin, huge director, won an Academy Award for The French Connection and also directed The Exorcist as well. So there you go. And if you didn't win, as David Day did win,
yes.
Congratulations, David. See you. Can't wait to see you, buddy. By the way, if you come to the concert, bring a copy of the book. I'll sign it for you. 80sweekend.com, $50 tickets. Incredible deal. Congratulations, Depeche Mode. You are in the Rock Hall of Fame. I can't wait to see you at 80s Weekend number 9, February the 15th. What a gift for the sweetheart in your life, because it's Valentine's weekend if you go to 80sweekend.com. And thank you for listening all these years to me, either on the world famous Skyrock or on Sirius XM. And to the people behind iHeartMedia, I hate you. You just fired 850 DJs across the country. iHeartMedia spun off from Clear Channel, otherwise known as the Evil Empire. If ever they did Star Wars as a radio film, Darth Vader would be Clear Channel and iHeartMedia. They just cut all local radio. I mean, seriously, all local radio and personalities and talent. Where are the young DJs going to come from? That was the wrong thing to do. Bad. So anyway, that's my opinion, and if you don't agree with it, you're wrong. So many other things I'm wrong on, but that I know. And the only time I had in radio that I didn't enjoy was when I worked for Clear Channel, and you'll read about that one day in the sequel to.
And you'll see you at the Sands.
I will see you at the Sands. I will see you with Billy Idol, Rebel Yell. And you guys are fantastic. Thank you for supporting the 80s. I love you. Depeche Mode loves you. Morrissey probably loves you, and New Order definitely does. And oh, by the way, if you like In Excess, the bass player of In Excess, Gary Beers, he does repeat his name. Gary Beers has a new band called Ashen Moon. Man, I just listened to them. They're fantastic. Toby is the lead singer for it, and Toby was in Rockstar In Excess. And we're going to be playing their music on an upcoming new sensation on First Wave. Really good. So Gary Beers, thank you very much.
And he's local. He's local.
What?
He's local.
And he's local. He actually lives out here and does gigs. So if you see Ashen Moon, go along to it, because it's fantastic, and he's such a great guy.
Okay, dinner time.
There you go. Maybe I can give him to Eddie's Weekend number 9 and have him come on stage with me and introduce the band. That would be cool. But thank you. You guys have been great. We'll do another Facebook Live before 80s Weekend number 9. If not, there's something else special coming soon. And I love you guys. Thank you so much. You guys have been awesome.